numerous locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the 40th anniversary season of the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
I don't sing. Welcome to the program. Glad you could join us today. They're racing at Texas Motor Speedway, and Kyle Larson is on the pole at 190.369 mphs. Glad you could join us. Todd Bailing in beautiful, warm Phoenix, Arizona. And no PJ today. She's at a training seminar for work in Albuquerque, so we will not have PJ on the program today. But, as is usually the case, Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin, standing by. Hi, Brian.
Yeah, and I can say at the beautiful, warm Oostburg, Wisconsin, it's 68 degrees and sunny here.
Lovely. Dan Margetta from St. Francis. I suppose it's even warmer the further south you go, huh?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but still a perfect day for early April. I'll take it. Now we can continue this all through the rest of the month and the rest of the summer. I'll be happy.
Yeah, April. Keep telling yourselves that. Yeah, it's all right. That's the way it goes. And, boy, it's getting ready to get racing underway. They did yesterday up at the Dells. There's practice today at Slinger. The opener at Slinger is next week. It's starting to rev up back in the old Badger State. Pretty cool stuff. But today we're going to talk a little bit about NASCAR, being that that's what the LTN actually stands for. The race will be televised on FS1 today, so unless you are hooked up to satellite or cable or stream, you can't just get it over the air. No. The green is at 2:43 Central Time. Good forecast. Temperatures in the 80s with a 5% chance of precipitation. And it's going to be Kyle Larson against Gibbs on the front row. How about that? It's just a matter of time. We knew that. Ty Gibbs is showing that he's got what it takes. And one of these days he's going to bust the door down. Not always the most likable guy, but don't worry. There are other guys less likable than him even. So, and mostly they all drive Toyotas too, which is perfect, actually, I think. All right, so we had a couple of races at Texas already. Kyle Busch needed a win in the trucks. He needed a win anywhere. He needed to be the first car in the parking lot just to recharge his batteries. He's been so despondent over everything going on over at Richard Childress Racing. He beat Corey Heim in the Truck Series, tied Todd Bodine or something for the winningest truck driver. He's just he's pretty good in those trucks and in those Xfinity cars. Now what he's got to do is get better in a Cup car. Right, guys?
I would say his truck equipment is a lot better than his Cup equipment right now with the Spire tie that they have with that stuff. His Cup equipment is very subpar right now.
Yeah. Whole RCR as a whole kind of has struggled. I mean, they haven't had it shown much this year to start with. I mean, Kyle Busch is still Kyle Busch. I don't think he just forgot how to drive all of a sudden. So, I mean, I think that if you look at an issue there, it's probably something equipment-wise or setup-wise or something out of the driver's control. It's kind of like in qualifying when we watched Ty Gibbs probably had the best car in practice, probably the best car in qualifying. They handled the best. They showed their telestrators. Kyle Larson got out there in the car, didn't cut to the corner maybe as good as the 54 car, but suddenly Kyle Larson beat him. I think that was all the driver that put into that one. And so I don't think the problem at RCR is with the driver. I think it's got to be with the car.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh, yeah, very much so. He hit the wall, by the way. He didn't get a qualifying lap the way it was. He hit the wall, so he's starting in the rear either way, without qualifying and with I don't know, did he go to a backup car, Dan? I think he might have.
Yeah, they're in a backup car because he spun around off a turn two, backed it in the fence, went to the backup car. Jimmy Johnson had an issue in practice too, kind of slid up into the fence, but I think they fixed that car and they'll keep the same one he had.
Yeah, Jimmy is there. That's kind of cool. A couple of names you might not see all the time. Austin Hill speaking of, we already are pretty crappy, so why don't we put another RCR car on the track? The 33 car is going to be there. Then 36th starting position will be Ty Dillon, driver of the week in the 16 car, and Jimmy Johnson, 37th of the 38 cars that are there. So, I don't know that Jimmy, it seems to me the guy just wants to race every once in a while just for fun, and I don't know how much fun you can really have when you're running around the back like that, but that's what it is. In the Xfinity series, go ahead.
If you listen to what he said, it's the car drives different than what he's used to. He was saying at Texas that he's used to driving off the is it the right rear, I think. And in this car, you drive off the front.
Yeah.
Everything's not loaded in the back. Everything's kind of loaded up in the front. It's just a different way of attacking it.
Yeah, and you gotta race it all the time to really understand. Do you think he'd have 7 championships if he had to drive this goofy car?
Doubtful at best. And with Austin Hill, I mean, if you're Childress and you're struggling as bad as you are, and Austin Hill is right now arguably your most successful driver in the Xfinity series, why not throw him out there? Maybe he'll find something or see something or be able to come up with something that will help the whole program. So I can kind of see why they're maybe giving it a shot, especially if you have money to put on the car to send it out there.
Also, how much longer will it be before Austin Hill is driving the 3 car? That's just something out there, just throwing it out. If it was me, I'd rather put Jesse Love in the thing, but, I'm not the one making calls on this. I can just make
because we like Jesse Love and we don't like Austin Hill.
Well, that's probably all it is, and Love is a likable kid, too. And he wanted Slinger, and he was a pretty nice kid all the way around. The Xfinity Series, Sam Mayer won that thing, and I'm telling you, it was a pretty slim margin over Ryan Sieg, 2 1,000ths. Dan, is that the closest? I think that's the closest ever recorded, isn't it?
Might be for at least
second closest. The second closest finish in the history of the Xfinity Series. It doesn't say what the closest was.
And I'm not sure how it could be much closer than that. It looked like 2 inches for 2,000ths. But we'll be talking to Sam in a little bit here. So,
as much as we love Sam Mayer and root for Sam Mayer all the time because he's one of our local guys, there's a little bit of me when I'm watching that. I'm thinking, boy, it'd be cool to see Ryan Sieg actually get a win. That's a team that he funds by himself. It's not a big corporate team. I forget how many starts he already had in the Xfinity Series, and he's going to have this thing won. And I'm watching it, and Sam gets up on him, and he did it. I mean, kudos to Sam. He drove the car. Like, that's what we're looking for out of him all the time to get that win. But you had a feel for Ryan Sieg in that instance.
12 years he's been in that series. I know they got a alliance with Stuart Haas. They got a little bit of help there as far as from Ford. But yeah, I mean, to see a guy, and then that guy too, I'm thinking, man, you're that close to the win that you've been chasing for 12 years now. Yeah, he drove amazingly clean. I don't know if I drove that clean. I was waiting for it that long. But
as one might imagine, the social media blew up, and oh my God, we wanted Ryan to win. He was the underdog. What can you say? And although as far as Sam's season has been so far, he has been he never panicked because eventually you're going to win a race, and that's what's going to put you in the chase for the championship or whatever they call it. Playoffs. There you go, not chase. They changed names on me, and it's
amazing. As much maligned that Texas track is, and as much as everybody says it's terrible, it's awful, that you can't race on it, and then that happens. You get one of the second closest finish in the history of the series. It just goes to show, I guess you can race on anything if you really want to.
And I don't know if you realize that we had a Wisconsin connection on both those cars. Sam being from Franklin with the winner, and then the second place at Ryan Sieg's crew chief is Matt Noyce, who's from Wisconsin. His dad, Ken Noyce, spots for Dale Nottestad out at Jefferson. He spot for Ronnie Brees back in the day. So, I mean, there's a little bit of Wisconsin connection in that whole finish.
How about that? That's pretty cool all the way around. Speaking of Sam Mayer, I think we're going to give him a phone call. And hopefully, if he answers the phone, we'll have him on right after these messages. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com. Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Caddy Day 5 is locked and loaded. Thursday, July 25th at Washington County Golf Course. Dress the movie, be the movie, and play golf with me, Butchie, and the rest of the knuckleheads from the game. There's going to be food, booze, sunburns, prizes, and a lot of bad golf. And maybe consciousness on your deathbed. Portion of the proceeds benefit Make-A-Wish Wisconsin. Sign up now at The Game MKE on Twitter or go to 973thegame.com.
Welcome back to the program. Speaking of 2/1000ths of a second, which is kind of hard to even imagine how close that really is, our own Sam Mayer won the race yesterday at Texas and in the Xfinity Series. Sam joins us now. And did you think you got across the line first, Sam, or was it like a dead heat in your eyes?
Yeah, you have no idea when you're sitting in the race car because you're trying to look at the right front because he was on my inside. And I was trying to look at the right front of his car to see if I was ahead of it. But in all honesty, I had no idea. So literally I go off into turn one after we take the checkered flag, and both of my right side tires are flat by this point already because we were racing so hard. But I'm just cruising up along the fence and waiting to get the word if we won or not. And nobody knew. So it was kind of just a really intense moment waiting to see the official result.
Unbelievable. You, and I hate to use the word bad, but as bad as the start was of your season, you didn't seem to panic very much because I believe you probably thought it's just going to be a matter of time and I'm going to win a race, right?
Yeah, like NASCAR and any sport or motorsport, like you're going to have ebbs and flows, highs and lows. Like you got to take the good with the bad, but this start of the season in 2024 was almost worse than bad, but we stuck with it. Marty Lindley on top of the box and everyone else involved in this JRM team kept our heads in the game, and we brought fast race cars each and every week. We didn't finish how we were supposed to, but we had speed. So we've been doing our jobs. We've been kicking at it, but obviously getting a win finally this year means a ton. Obviously, the Dash for Cash comes with that, so that's a really cool opportunity for the organization as well, but certainly dream of a weekend.
I was going to say, how about that Dash for Cash thing? You know, you had Justin Allgaier dominating that race, you know, leading 117 laps, and it looked like that was going to slip through his fingers again, and the organization wasn't going to be able to grab that. But how nice is it for, you know, you to be the rebound and be on the offense and be able to get that right at the end for the team? Yeah,
absolutely. We struggled really bad for the first little bit of the weekend. Friday, practice and qualifying, we were pretty far off the pace. We needed about probably a second and a half of lap time consistently. And I went up to Parker Kligerman, actually, because he was pitted right next to us. And I was like, what was your balance there? At the end of the practice, he said he was a little bit tight. I was like, well, I'm like 6 numbers loose out of 10. Like, that is over 50% off balance. And I was not very happy with it. And I was about 3/4 second off of him and pretty much the entire rest of the organization. So me and Marty and everyone else, the engineers that worked their tails off for me, we went to work Friday night, got everything we thought we needed, and we showed up Saturday, and we were actually really, really close. So we got the fine details done as the race went on, and we got better and better and better. And by the end of it, we found our way into the top 3, which was really cool because I don't really know how I got there. We just had so much pace that we were able to just get there with ease. So really cool opportunity to learn a lot about the kind of how the races go on these 1.5 miles this year, because the racing has been quite a bit different than last year and the year prior too. So everyone's kind of learning at the same rate and at the same time. So it's really cool to be able to optimize what we had at the end of the race and hold on to it and make a late run at the win.
That was cool to actually just close the deal like that. Kind of set us up how that worked out, and because you had a little bit of distance to make up, but you were catching them. Did you kind of have a plan going into that final lap, or how are you going to make your move?
Yeah, absolutely. So the pass really started about 2 laps prior. I knew that I was a little bit better off of 2, and my 3 and 4 running the bottom of the racetrack was the fastest at that moment, which is really weird because the whole stage leading up to that, you had to be at the top. So that's kind of what I was doing for the first 4 or 5 laps of that run. And then as the laps were closing down, I knew I had to do something different. And my spotter, Kevin Hamlin, who's going to be spotting the 48 Hendrick car later today, told me that I have to try the bottom and see if it'll work. And he said to do it, and I said, all right, I'm doing it. And it ended up being a huge chunk of lap time. And that's really kind of where we ended up getting the win, is because of that lap time we were able to cut compared to the 39 and 3 and 4. But setting up that pass, going off into turn 1 after we just took the white flag, I knew I had to run a little bit higher. If he ran the highest you could in the top where the grip was, I knew I had to go a little bit higher. So I just committed to that, and I was able to get a huge run off the corner, get the side draft done, and clear him off into turn 3. And obviously we're going to race from there. So it was a really cool execution on my part. I feel like I finally did a really good job putting everything together in a closing charge. Well, this is probably one of the first where I really, really had to work for it to get that checkered flag. So it's really cool to be able to do that on a 1.5 miles and make the move and be on the offensive.
I would say so. We're talking with Sam Mayer, who won yesterday's Xfinity race at Texas, one of the closest finishes you'll ever see in your life. It's a good thing they have these transponders and cameras and can break it down and watch how close that really was. Sam, it's, being that you're from Wisconsin and you have a lot of built-in cheesehead race fans right from the get-go, we are, I think it's a legitimate thing for us to hope that things continue with your career and eventually you will end up in the Cup Series. I'm just curious if there's been any mention of anything anywhere, or are you just happy to be where you're at for now and give it a little more time?
Yeah, I think that any race car driver's dream is to be in the NASCAR Cup Series when you're around stock car racing like this. And I've really kind of found a home at Junior Motorsports. They love my presence over there. We've had a really good relationship over the last couple of years, and obviously cracking off a couple wins is really good for me and the company. With that said, I of course would want to go Cup Series racing here in the next couple of years at the very least, and we're just kind of waiting for that opportunity. But I think that if I keep doing what I'm doing here on the racetrack, everything will kind of fall into place.
Sam, looking at your summer this year, I know being a full-time Xfinity driver, you're busy with that, but do you have any extracurricular type racing going on this year? Fortunately, without the Xfinity Series coming to Road America this year, we don't get to see you guys up in the state of Wisconsin. Is there anything else for you?
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing to not be able to come up there and race at Road America again. It was probably one of the best road course races we saw last year in the Xfinity side, and when Cup was up there, it's probably one of the best up there too. So hopefully we get that opportunity to race at Road America again. I'm sure that the schedules and the stars will align for that to happen, but unfortunately for me, I don't have any extra races on the schedule slated yet. But knowing my luck, the second I get off this phone call, I'll get a call saying I'm doing a Spire truck deal or something like that. But nothing right now, so hopefully I can do something, but obviously it has to be financially sound for that to happen. But right now I'm just focusing on the Xfinity side and going to hopefully crack off a couple more wins here in the next couple months.
There you go, Sam. Hey, thanks for joining us. You've got a lot of Cheesehead fans out there watching you close, and it was a big day for all of us to watch you hit victory lane for the first time this year. Congratulations. Good luck on the rest of the year, and hopefully we'll talk to you. Maybe we'll bring you some kind of luck down the line. Who knows?
Absolutely. I'd love that. Thank you to all the Cheesehead fans. We appreciate you, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
There you go. Sam Mayer, yesterday's winner in the Xfinity Series. Local kid gone to NASCAR and doing real good. We're going to sneak away for a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
He's at bottom of the first circle. They score! Jasper Weatherby!
The Admirals wrap up a 3-3 weekend at Rockford on Sunday.
Get away 2-on-1. Felleber on the right. Felleber. It was Allison tipping it. Felleber shoots, scores!
Pre-game coverage starts at 3:30. Face off at 4 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Well, I'm not exactly like Jimmy the Greek or anything like that because I got to finally pull one out every now and again. I did predict William Byron last week, and I actually had a couple of bucks on him at 15-1, so that was kind of nice. Byron is arguably the best team at Hendrick. When you think about it, that's pretty impressive, knowing that Kyle Larson is over there and Chase Elliott, who's still chasing his first win in a couple of years. Maybe today will be the day for him. Who knows? At Martinsville, the Hendrick cars celebrating their 40th anniversary finished at the top 3 to the surprise of not very many people, apparently. That's not what the issue was. The issue was you couldn't even pass a lap car with the rules package. The screaming continues. There's, everyone wants there to change the rules or the tires or the engines or something. You have to change the package. And parity has its drawbacks. They're so equal you can't even pass a lap car. That said, I didn't think it was as bad a race as they made it sound. Did you guys?
Well, I mean, it wasn't what you would sometimes expect at Martinsville because it was you didn't have as many bump and runs as you saw before and stuff like that. But we've talked about this ad nauseum for almost a year now. The shifting, I think, is the biggest issue there. When you limit the amount of times you have to screw up, so when you shift, that if you miss the corner, you can downshift again, and then you can upshift to get back out of there. It helps you from really screwing up the corner and losing a lot of time. Where if you have the situation where you're in the same gear all the time and you miss the corner, well, you're going to miss the corner, and there's going to be a lot more opportunities to pass. So it takes a lot of that part of it, the screw up part out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you get the parity you have. Guys don't have. It's a lot easier to hit a corner there. Easy, I'm saying. Put you and I in there, you probably would see something that doesn't look real great. But I think until they get that out of there, you're going to have what you have there. Aero, you can do all the aero you want at Martinsville. I don't think that's as big of a deal. Maybe a softer tire with the more horsepower would do it, but I still think as long as the shifting is going on there, I think this is what you're going to get.
If you had big horsepower, would you have to shift?
I think you still would. I mean, it's hard to say without really knowing how those cars operate. That's a good Ed question.
Yeah,
but I would assume so.
Part of the problem is you can't even get to a guy's bumper to move him, right? I mean, does that cause that? I mean, is that part of the issue there? Because before, yeah, cars are equal and there's some parity there and stuff, but I mean, there's always that front bumper factor that if you had to get around somebody, you just move them, and now you can't even get to the rear bumper to move the guy.
And Hamlin said he was trying to get to the 2-car to move him late in the race, and he couldn't do it. It's actually kind of sad, isn't it?
I mean, think about Martinsville. You take away the Hail Melon from 2 years ago, boy, there really isn't anything to shout about at Martinsville. I mean, that's kind of our saving grace that we got to hold on to from that happening, in October of 22. You take that thing out of there, it's really been vanilla races there. Yeah, it's amazing, really, that they have some of these great minds between those at Goodyear and what I did learn, though, is that the cars were supposed to be much cheaper in the long run for car owners to have and maintain and produce, and they are not anywhere near as inexpensive as NASCAR thought they would be, which is one of the bones of contention going on right now in the negotiation for not just the TV deal, but it also has to do with the charters and all that sort of thing. So, the negotiations have to be frustrating for everybody involved all the way around. We've got this car that isn't putting a good show on. We're still arguing about dollars and cents from the TV contract. Costs are a thing, which they always want to watch out for costs, but it seems too easy to just say, why don't we come back with that Bristol tire and run it at every short track? Because that's what it seems like it needs to me. Am I wrong?
I don't know. They have to somehow find a way to work together better. I think behind the scenes there's a lot of turmoil going on that we're not seeing between NASCAR and the teams and the owners. It seems like it's at the point where when you negotiate with somebody, you're trying to get something done, and if you don't understand where the other side's coming from or what their position is and don't really want to, that it breaks down like this. I mean, I think teams got to understand where the NASCAR officials are coming from and how we got to make this work business-wise, and then the officials got to understand the team's point of view, like, this is what we got to make it work so we can survive and we can race good, and the drivers are frustrated because there's no fun driving. What good is it just turning a car left turns for 1,000 times an afternoon?
Yeah, no kidding.
I think just being behind the scenes, they got to figure it out. It probably can be done, but I think they just need to somehow find a way to get on the same page.
By the way, last week I said it was a 500 lapper, and I was incorrect about that. I thought it was going to be 1,000 shifts. There were only 800 shifts during the race. It was a 400 lapper. Oops, almost had it. Well, here's a neat one. The green flag today, which is going to fly at 2:43 Central Time, is going to be waved by U.S. Army General Kevin Admiral, a general named Admiral. That's awesome. That's what we everybody fun to think. PJ, as you've noticed by now, is not here today. She's off in Albuquerque at a training seminar for work, but she has already sent us her pick for the win today, and we'll let you in on that a little later on. CW18 in Milwaukee. They're going to be taking over the Xfinity races starting September 20th. That was not in the plans. They're going to use the NBC production and crew and everything from NBC, except it's not going to be shown on NBC. It's going to be on CW 18 in Milwaukee and the CW network across the country. So,
which is a plus. That's over the air for the Xfinity Series versus I think all their races as far as NBC platform are going to be on USA. So I think this is a help for them as long as they get it out there so that everybody knows that it's on your antenna and you can watch it. This is a good thing for the Xfinity Series.
You bet it is. We'll be back. Hang in there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
This, keep it on the down low here, is the Dan Patrick Show. We're finding that quarterbacks and what they do off the field may be as valuable as what they do on the field. Patrick Mahomes is following that blueprint. He decided that he was going to free up over $20 million in cap space this offseason. Mahomes is competing with Tom Brady, and now you want to see if you can get to 7 Super Bowls.
Dan Patrick.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Weekday mornings 8 to 11 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. We mentioned the start of the racing season yesterday at the Dells, next week at Slinger Speedway. Well, those paved tracks are not the only ones getting ready to fire up. Sheboygan County Fairgrounds. Now, you might not recognize that name. Call it Plymouth, and everybody knows where you're talking about. Bill Weinog from the Plymouth Dirt Track is joining us right now. Bill, you've been on here before, but it's always great to hear your voice. Welcome back, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. Good to be with you guys this morning.
Well, the weather sure seems nice outside, Bill. I look outside right now. They say it's almost 70 degrees, so that means racing season is not far away. For anybody that was in Sheboygan County yesterday, I think we heard the roar of some cars out on the track with the open practice session. Did you get a chance to get out there, and how are things looking for the 2024 season?
Yeah, I was out most of the session yesterday. We had about 25 cars showed up to practice. Referred to it as Noah's Ark because it was like two of the sprint cars, two of the late models. It was like two of everything there, and some classes that aren't even racing with us showed up for a little track time. So it was a good day.
Last year, you kind of changed it up a little bit. We went from running the same divisions every single week to having more of a smorgasbord of different type of classes there, including some of the other classes from around the state. Looking at the schedule, looks like going to be a lot of that same thing this year here with the different classes showing up, correct?
Yeah, the late model group last year, we sat down and talked with them. They kind of had the dwindling card counts, and they decided among that group, Greg Wester and Chad Marquardt are ones that kind of put that whole deal together. It went down to 6 races. Unfortunately, one was rained out, but it really worked out well. The car counts went up. We're increasing that group to 7 nights this week versus the 6. And it also opened us up to having all, like you said, a smorgasbord of different cars coming in classes with the midgets, the legends, the lightning sprints, wingless guys, and all different things. And it brought in a whole new audience, a whole new crowd, and it overwhelmingly was positive.
Yeah, I was at one of those Super 6 races last year. I forget exactly what. I think it was maybe late July. Race between Taylor Scheffler and Mitch McGrath. That was outstanding. And Terry Casey was there, guy we haven't seen race for quite a bit. So I think that Super 6 thing, I think you guys struck on something there, getting those guys to show up, getting a lot more cars to show up for some more money. And I think that really was a bonus for the late model class.
Yeah, it really worked well, and then we threw in a couple Dirt Kings races there. We were real lucky to have the Jim Wildman Watson Classic come in September, and that is back this year as well. So things are looking really good.
And the IRA is a fan favorite out at Plymouth. I see just this week there was a release coming from Road America that you're going to do the combined event during the IndyCar weekend this year. Talk a little bit about the IRA and what Steve Sinclair's group is bringing.
Yeah, we're going to have 5 nights with those guys this year, and pretty much every one is a big race in one form or another. We'll start out with that. We're going to have a race in May already, but the Road America Challenge in June. And that's going to be real interesting to see how that goes, because in a meeting with Road America a couple of weeks ago, the IndyCar guys really like to get out in the public, where the NASCAR guys are a little more to themselves and they're a little more business-like. These guys, we're planning on a bunch of them coming over to the track that night, and then we'll have them back for our county fair, and then we wrap it up the whole end of the year for them and us is the Wisconsin Sprint Car Championships the end of September. So we just have a really good relationship with Steve, and it works out well. Like you said, they're really popular among the fans, and it's great racing action.
And Bill, you can't the on-track action and the racing action is great at Plymouth, but you can't forget about the food too, right? I mean, I think it's one of the best food
venues there is.
There is.
It is, and it's kind of funny because a couple of years ago I was down at PRI and walking around in Indianapolis, and the guy says, "Hey, you're from Plymouth," and I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I can't wait to get back there." It was one of the guys with the All-Star Series. He goes, "We fight over what crew guys are coming because we all want to come and eat." And I said, "Well, it'd be great to hear how great the racing action is, but we'll take the food too."
There you go.
Steak sandwich, that's the big one out there, right, Bill? Everybody loves that steak sandwich. Come right off the grill.
Yep, the made-to-order steak sandwich and also the grilled cheese with a burger in it, that goes over spectacular. So come hungry when you come to visit us.
All right. When does it all get started? Opening night is about 2 weeks from now, April 27th, correct?
Yep, April 27th. We'll have the 360 sprint cars, the Grand Nationals, and B-Mods will run every week with us, and then it's a mixture of all those other classes we have talked about. And opening night, the Lightning sprints, the wingless sprints will be in town for that one. So,
and the 360 class ought to be interesting this year too, because the defending champion Brandon McMullen is not running this year, from what I understand, talking to his dad and stuff. So that's kind of an open class this year.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They're not going to run full time. I've heard rumors they're going to pop in and out. I've heard rumors they have a 410 motor. So, you guys know what the rumor mill is like and how that all goes. If you bet money on that, good luck. You're not going to win much. But so yeah, it'll be a wide open thing with Ben Schmidt. Lance Fassbender has really improved. There's a lot of young guys that have improved. So it's going to be wide open this year, and it'll be a lot of fun for that group.
And the Grand National class is going to have some rookies in it too. I see my coworker and good friend Matt Yancey, his son is going to be running a Grand National this year, so that should be interesting to see some young rookies out there and keep that class going.
Yeah, and he was out for the practice day yesterday, and just you could tell the confidence build from 10 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and really picked up his speed. Every division's picking up. I've heard the count of possibly 5 360 sprint car guys coming in. Yesterday was kind of unique because you knew some guys, but there's a lot of cars not lettered up yet, so you weren't sure who was in there or if it was the guy who was actually going to drive the car. So opening night will be an adventure.
There you go. The closest dirt track to Milwaukee at the Sheboygan County Fairgrounds. It's roughly an hour drive, I think. For us in the Milwaukee area to make it up there. But Bill Weinog, thanks for joining us. You this is a great time of year. The anticipation of the start is always fun, and you guys up at Plymouth got a great show, and you can't screw it up. The racing is too good for anybody to screw it up. You just got to have a little help with the weather.
Yeah, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature. We dumped a whole bunch of new clay on last year, and that held up really good yesterday, so we're looking forward to things.
All right. Well, good luck, Bill. Thanks for being on with us, and hopefully we'll talk in the near future.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You betcha. Bill Weinog from the Sheboygan County Fairgrounds. I don't know if anyone has seen this, but there was a fellow passed away this week in NASCAR, Bob Labonte, at age 90. Yes, you know him as the name because he's Terry and Bobby's dad. our late partner Ed Kluka knew Bob Labonte very well, and I'm not exactly sure. I know Bob worked in NASCAR in the business somewhere. I know, Dan, you ran across him in the past, but he had a good long life and passed away this week.
Yeah, I read him back when he ran the family Busch team when Bobby was driving the Slim Jim car 44. They had an autograph session up at the Expo Center in Waukesha. And after it was all done, we were leaving, and the guy looked out. He goes, "Hey, I need help pushing." And it was Bob, and he needed help pushing his car, and he gave us a box of Slim Jims. So we pushed the trailer for some Slim Jims.
Slim Jims. We'll be back. Hang in there with us.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Time to win some bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar bills yell.
Starting Monday, listen for the keyword starting at 9 and enter it on our website, thebig920.com.
LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
The beautiful weather across the upper Midwest allowed for many tracks to open up and a lot of great racing this week. We'll start Thursday night, Marshalltown, Iowa, the king of the high banks. Night #1 for the IMCA Modifieds. The winner was Tom Berry Jr. Friday night, Chilton, Wisconsin, Gravity Park Speedway had their season opener in the Modifieds. It was Marcus Hopner getting the win. Grand Nationals went to Dustin Weiss, and the stock cars went to Mitch Meyer. Over in Menominee at the Red Cedar Speedway, that also opened up. Wissota Late Model Feature winner is Sammy Mars. Oh, look, now that's a couple wins for Sammy already. That's a guy you're going to probably see a lot of this year, as his dad, Jimmy Mars, is retired from driving full-time. So it'd be cool to see Sammy get a lot of wins under his belt this year. The Wissota Modifieds went to Kevin Buzzy Adams. Marshalltown, Iowa, night #2 for the King of the High Banks. $5,000 a win for the IMCA stock cars, and modified regular Kelly Shryock grabbed the win in that. Wheatland, Missouri, Lucas Oil Speedway for the Lucas Oil MLRA Spring Nationals, night #1, $7,000 to win. That went to Jonathan Davenport. Farmers City, Illinois, the World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Model Series, the Illini 100, night #1, $10,000 to win. Nick Hoffman with the win, a photo finish over Bobby Pierce. If you get a chance to look at this one online, that was crazy. With one lap to go, Huffman had a huge lead. He kind of screwed up coming out of turns 3 and 4 and went wide, and Bobby Pierce did a slide job on him, and Hoffman was kind of going off the track on the front straightaway and just barely. I think he won by .007.
Wasn't much. Farmers doesn't really have a wall along the front stretch. It kind of has a berm, and you over that, and he pushed him up over that, so he was off the track and still kind of gunning for it. And when they came to the line, it was super close.
Yeah, that was quite the race. The Extreme Outlaw Midgets were also there. Ryan Timms got the feature win there, and in the UMP Modifieds, it was Michael Long. Also Friday night in Peevely, Missouri, the I-55 Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Engineering Sprint Car Series. David Gravel got the win. Bill Baylog was there, finished 4th. So he's quietly having a really good season in the World of Outlaws. Last night, Francis Crick, the 141 Speedway, opened up their season in the IMCA Modifieds. Sean Kilgore got the win, an exciting feature. They live streamed that last night. I think just for some testing purposes, they might be doing some all season there, but it was free, and I watched that feature. Outstanding feature between him and Benji Lacrosse in a great modified feature. The stock car feature went to Benji Lacrosse. He got the win there. And the Grand Nationals, good friend Josh Pierce got the win in the Grand Nationals. Shawano opened up last night. The Dirt King late models were there. Mike Mullen got the win. The modifieds went to Lucas Lambries, and the stock cars Travis Van Stratton. Over at New Richmond, Wisconsin, Cedar Lake Speedway, Nick Panitsky got the win in the late models. That's a pavement name, who's making a name for himself now on the dirt. Modifieds went to Shane Sobrowski, and the USRA Limited Lates went to Matt Larson. Lawrenceburg, Indiana, the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series, Kevin Thomas Jr. got the win. Down to Lake City, Florida, the All-Tech Raceway for the Hunt to Front Dirt Late Model Series, $15,000 to win. Joseph Joyner got the win. Scott Bloomquist was second. Don't look now, but Scott Bloomquist may be making a run to actually be competitive again. It's been a while since we've seen that name. Wheatland, Missouri, the night number 2 of the Spring Nationals at Lucas Oil Speedway, $20,000 to win. That went to Jonathan Davenport. Night number 2 at Farmers City for the World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Model Series, $20,000 to win. Bobby Pierce, he made sure there was no drama at all. He won by 7 seconds on a quarter mile last night. That's incredible. The Extreme Outlaw Midget feature winner was Ashton Torgensen, and the UMP mods went to Mike McKinney. Fort Worth, Texas, the dirt track at Texas Motor Speedway for the High Limit Sprint Car Series. Anthony Macri got the win. And finally, in Peevely, Missouri, night number 2 for the World of Outlaw and Austin Engineering Sprint Car Series, Donnie Schatz got the win. Bill Baylog was 5th. Bill led a little bit of that feature event, and ended up 5th. And that is everything we have for this week.
Don't you guys usually go to Farmer City?
Yeah, we always did, but Dan had something going on yesterday, and I had stuff going on, so it just didn't work out. Yeah, I've been to every one of these Illini 100s. It happens like about once every 4 years with the weather that they get it in, and unfortunately we're unable to go to that one this year.
First time I was there was probably the coldest I ever been in a racetrack.
Oh, geez. Oh, great. At least you got to drive all the way down to central Illinois and then freeze on top of it. That's awesome. But I'll tell you what, the paved racing in the state of Wisconsin got underway with the annual icebreaker race at Dells Raceway Park yesterday. And my goodness, I got to tell you something. What a show they had. First of all, they had a spectacular crowd. They had great weather, great car count, and of all things, the first ever super late model win for Minnesota's Ty Fredrickson, the 15-year-old who goes door handle to door handle with Casey Johnson for several laps. Then I thought Ryan Farrell was going to win the thing. He passed them all on the outside. I thought, I can't believe how good he is. And, of course, a late race caution start next to each other, and young Ty Fredrickson goes ahead and wins it. He is a Kawicki program candidate, too. Talk about getting out of the gate the way you want to. Just a great first race of the year. Excellent racing. Everything about it was good, and good for Jerry and the whole crew out there at Dells Raceway Park. Now, they raced a cars tour race down at Jacksonville, North Carolina. I wouldn't bother telling you too much about it. Bobby McCarty wins it. I'm not familiar with him, but Quapple was there. He was 5th. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. raced in the thing. He was a non-factor. He spun to avoid a wreck towards the end of the thing, and when he was running around 13th, something like that. But anytime Earnhardt shows up at a racetrack, it's an event. So that's what happened there. By the way, the Midwest Truck Series, Chester Ace was the winner, and John Lemke won in the 602 late models yesterday after Dennis Prunty, who had started second row, was involved in something, had to go all the way to the back and raced his way back to 5th. To me, that was the whole show because it didn't look like there was a whole lot of passing for the lead, like none. And so it was fun watching Dennis come from the back anyway. So racing is back. They're racing, not racing. They're you may hear race cars at the track today. If you live in Slinger, Wisconsin, they've got an open practice this afternoon, and they're going to be getting ready for next Sunday's opener at Slinger Speedway. And Rich Bickle has come back from retirement, as many of us kind of figured he was going to do anyway. Well, I never really said I was totally retiring. If I could find money, I was coming back. Yeah. I saw him. I saw him retire the first time at Rockford. They presented him a nice plaque and all that. Then he came back. What do you think, Dan? About 2 years after that, and raced another 2 years, and then retired last year at the. Not this last year. Let me think here. No, he retired in 22 years. Yeah, every 2 years he retires. He retired. His last race was at the Snowball Derby. That was it.
But he raced last year. Didn't he race at Rockford last year in that finale?
Oh yeah, and he came back for that, and that cost him $1,000 to Danny Fredrickson because they had a bet because Fredrickson knows Bickle better than Bickle knows Bickle. Well, anyway,
leap years every 4 years. We have rich comeback years every 2 years.
There you go. And he's, if he's not 62, he's going to be shortly. He wants to quit, but like Robbie Reiser once told me, it's such a powerful addiction, it's hard to overcome. But he has told me he's planning right now on racing in the Slinger Nationals. So that's coming too. By the way, Dan, Slinger put out a list of drivers that are coming for next week's opener. Pretty impressive list.
Impressive list. And they had 40 of them on there, so it looks like they're, should all be there. Hopefully some didn't have some issues in the Dells that would prevent them from coming, but all in all, a pretty good field next week to open it up.
The other than Ty Fredrickson, Ty Majeski is coming for that one too next week. We'll be right back.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend. From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Caddy Day 5 is locked and loaded. Thursday, July 25th at Washington County Golf Course. Dress the movie, be the movie, and play golf with me, Butchie, and the rest of the knuckleheads from the game. There's going to be food, booze, sunburns, prizes, and a lot of bad golf. And maybe consciousness on your deathbed. Portion of the proceeds benefit Make-A-Wish Wisconsin. Sign up now at The Game MKE on Twitter or go to 973thegame.com.
It was announced recently that the land across the street from the racetrack at Charlotte is going to be developed into a road course. Brian, there was an article about it, actually, that they talked about, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be like a club course thing across the street from there. I saw it in the Grassroots Motorsports magazine article, which is kind of a club racing type thing. So it doesn't look like it's going to be anything as of now from the pictures I've seen that it's going to be like a spectator event. Not that you're going to have, IndyCar, IMSA, or even NASCAR racing or anything like that. It looks more like a club type thing, similar to what you saw at the Thermal Club.
It's interesting you say that because we found out some kind of inside information about that whole thing, which kind of was unknown. There is a business over there by the name of Thermal Control. There are two manufacturing buildings that are basically on the backside of this road course that they're building right now. The owner of Thermal Control told a source of ours that Rick Hendrick tried to buy the building because he was going to build the road course. Rick Hendrick was going to build the road course right across the street from the racetrack. Now, there's a lot to this when you break it down. I believe, Dan, there was a thing a while back that the city of Concord, or as they call it out there, Concord, was trying to annex some land right there. If I remember right, it was kind of a cluster, wasn't it?
Something going on with it, even like the noise thing and stuff like that. Remember, because this was back when Bruton was still alive. Remember, he threatened to tear that track down and move it somewhere else. And it was kind of a back and forth deal between the town and the track, and then the track ultimately won. But I mean, I'm not sure what it plays today. That was years ago.
Yeah, well, according to this owner of this place called Thermal Control, he said that Rick Hendrick was trying to buy the building from him, but the only way he told Hendrick that he would sell him what he had there is if he bought the complete business, including all inventory and all that sort of thing. And I don't really know what they do there at Thermal Control. So if you can always try to figure it out by the name. But so Hendrick now owns all the land around that. He is building the road course around this building. And, we don't really understand what could possibly be coming of this, because maybe Rick Hendrick saw what was coming and he bought it so that he could lease it to the racetrack for some reason. It's a 3-mile road course, Brian. Is that a good size for a like a club deal like that?
Yeah, and it is from the pictures I'm seeing here. There's like a bunch of different configurations, so you can go to like 2.2 to 1.8, and if you connect all of it together, you get almost 3 miles around the whole thing.
All right. Well, we're going to
Road America's Road America's 4 miles to give you some sort of a idea.
Okay. Yeah. So, a little less or a third less or whatever. But the fact that Hendrick owns it, that's very odd. That's Speedway Motorsports owns the other part. Now, Hendrick, a private owner across the street. We'll just have to watch it. You heard it here first. Whatever the hell it's going to lead to, you heard it here first. Kyle Larson went to Indianapolis. I guess they're having the biggest pre-race ticket sale in many, many years at Indianapolis, and it's all attributed to the fact that who's apparently considered the greatest all-around driver in the world, Kyle Larson, is going to be there in his first Indianapolis 500. He's going to attempt both races. He's going to go right from there to the 600. It's been done before, not for a couple of years. But what was really interesting was that he was second fastest at a test they had there. He's a rookie. This is the first time he sat at this wheel of this car at Indianapolis. It's pretty damn impressive, don't you think, boys?
Yeah, that's very impressive. And
there could be a little controversy with it too, right, Dan? Because qualifying for the pole, if he's fast enough, is going to be when the heat races are going on for the All-Star race.
Oh, I think I'd skip the All-Star race.
I would too. Yeah.
I think what the plan is, if he can't make it, Hendrick will have another driver in the 5 car and have to run the Open. But I mean, think the impossible feat is to win the double. I mean, it's almost, can it be done? And this is probably the best shot we've had to have it happen in a long time.
Remember, Tony Stewart tried it.
Right, that's what I mean. I mean, Tony was just as good, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. And, weigh it out. Where would you rather be, North Wilkesboro or Indianapolis? Because that's the choices. It depends on the commitment. And, since Mr. Hendrick is the sponsor on the IndyCar 2, he will probably have some input as to where Kyle Larson is. I would think. And
how the qualifying goes at Indy is you qualify on Saturday, and then they whittle you down to the fast 12. Then you do another run, and they whittle you down to the last 6. Now, the last 6 run for the pole between 5:15 and 5:45 Eastern time on that Sunday night, which would be about the time the heat races will be getting going at North Wilkesboro. So if he's able to get his car in the fast 6, that's where the controversy would come in.
All right, there you go. One last item. Last week in the TV ratings, we were telling you how NASCAR's been making strides to come back, and the ratings have been getting better. It was flat from the year before at Martinsville. Roughly 2.2 million viewers at Martinsville, as opposed to the ladies' basketball tournament, 18.7 million viewers. Well, of course, it had to do also with the ladies were on network, and Martinsville was not, but still. They can't all be steps forward. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And don't forget, the green flag is at 2:43 this afternoon, televised on FS1 for all of us.
Who are we picking?
Oh, yeah, quickly. PJ told me today she's going to take Gibbs in the 54. I'm going with Reddick. Brian?
Martin Truex Jr.
Okay, and Dan?
All right, I'll go with Larson because he took Reddick. I'll go with Larson.
Real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. LTN is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta, and our engineer is Matt Losey. For all of us, thanks for being here.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.